Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Found me a postcard, Brains. I'm looking through my stuff. I'm so excited to have Joyce Pellegrini with me on the edge. Got all twisted up. Again, movers and shakers and influencers, and she's right here with us. She's going to tell us about her story, her journey, and her truth here on the planet Earth. Are you from planet Earth? What planet are you from? I like to ask that.
Well, it's funny that you asked because I have been so laser focused on my career since, in my early 20s that I never really did any research on cosmic or the Palladians or the Arcturians and all that kind of stuff. So in this journey, yeah, even though I'm in quantum physics, I kind of just stayed in that lane. But this last 3-4 years, I found out that I'm an original Palladian, that I created the system that I work with today, that it's no accident that I became a stress management coach, and that I'm a healer. Like, I did herbs. I probably was a witch and I was been burned many times. Like, I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time there, but like, people will tell me stuff and I'm like, well, that's interesting. And that kind of resonates. Wow. Because I feel like I was military, like I run my businesses really like a military operation.
Okay, so let's slow down. Let's slow down and kind of dial back. Okay, because you got a lot going on there, Joyce.
Well, that's true.
All right. So tell us a little bit about where it all began for you and the work that you're doing now. How did you become aware of your gifts and your talents? You have to grow into that. It's a certain maturity.
Absolutely.
And then you have to cultivate those skills, and then you got to transfer it into dollars. Let's just keep it real. Okay.
That is as real as it can get.
So, what are some of your strategies for success in that?
Okay. So I really started out as a legal secretary back in the day and put myself through college at night. So through being a secretary, I learned how to type. I know how to write. I know how to edit. So I learned that skill set and had no idea that was going to benefit me when I wrote 4 books. Then when I put myself through college, I became a commercial interior designer. I became a project manager, ended up being vice president of sales. I only have a certificate as design, but it was my innate ability and the skill set that I came into this life with to share that I'm into structure, project management, taking A to Z and writing down all those steps so that I was very successful. I did 2 startups, one in Chicago, and that's how I ended up in Florida. I set up 2 furniture interior design businesses within a big structure, and they gave me the money and they just said, do your thing.
They turned you loose? Joyce, they turned you loose with the money?
They gave me $500,000 when I got to Florida and just said, yes, they just said, you were so successful in Chicago that we want you to duplicate it here in Florida. They had nothing. They gave me a laptop, a phone, and a box.
Can I ask you a couple of questions about Floridians for information? I want to clear up any misnomers. Okay. Sure. Do you really like the weather down there? Like when the hurricanes and stuff come, doesn't that make you nervous?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I love it. I've been here 24 years.
Wow.
And I moved here in 1998. And I've been coming to Florida as a little girl because my godmother was here. So every Easter break, we couldn't wait to go. And I knew I would retire here. So when I did move here, I want you to know this is the honest to God's truth. There were hurricanes and they closed the office. I worked till, the office, they really kicked me out like till midnight. Then I go to the store to buy my batteries or whatever, because I'm a Chicagoan. We don't have hurricanes there.
Wow.
So go to the store, there's nothing on the shelves.
Wow.
Literally no water, no batteries.
That's a
People are
lot.
putting up wood on their windows. And I've always just flown by the seat of my pants. So I go home not prepared. Guess what?
Okay, so now living there in Florida, also the cost of living. People think that the cost of living for retirees or people of a particular age, 55, that it's, certain taxes, but isn't there an offset? I mean, you may not pay certain taxes, but you pay, I don't really know how that works.
We don't have any state tax,
No
meaning
state tax.
we don't pay any employment state tax, where most people have state and federal. So we only do federal here.
Okay.
It is great. Cost of living is excellent. Like, I come from Chicago, the city.
Yeah.
Coming here, everything was, the things that are a little bit higher here might be flood insurance, house insurance, car insurance, because you have so many transplants here.
Right.
But other than that, I think the cost of living could be high or low, just like in any state, whether you want to live in Rodeo Drive in California or go somewhere off the path.
Is the culture more Southern in Florida?
Yes, I found when I moved here, because like living in a major city, like we're laser focused and we just move, where everybody here is good. How are you?
Right,
and I'm
right.
coming from Chicago.
Right.
So, and I'm good morning. Like, I'm like, wow, people talk to you here. So it does have that Southern charm.
And how's the food?
That's marginal. Fish is great,
Really?
but I'm fussy coming from Chicago and major restaurants. And
what do you like to eat? What kind of food do you like to eat, Joyce?
Oh, I like Vietnamese, Korean, Indian. I'm Italian. I will never go to an Italian restaurant here. I make better food than they do. So it's like I really eat organically. Tend to eat
I
at
went
home.
to Italy and I came back and I found a lot of the things at the Trader Joe's. Girl, honey, I can make some good stuff. Good stuff. I love that. So tell me some fun things about you. If you were an appliance, what appliance would you be and why?
Oh my gosh. That's hard because I don't do any appliances. So I don't do
Go ahead on, Diva. I don't do appliances. I love it. I love it.
I have a dishwasher and I use it because I hand wash everything, because I just cook for me, and then I use the dishwasher where I dry my dishes.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. Being a woman of a particular age, you got a little moxie going on there. You're very attractive. You smile. What would you say to young women that are trying to exude their confidence, their beauty, but then also close a deal? What do you say to that young woman?
Well, I just say, if you stand in your truth and you're totally authentic, I sell from the heart. If I don't believe in what I'm doing, I can't do it. So I feel like I'm not like that shiny salesperson or that used car salesman, that bad quote that they use. So I tell people, if you really love what you do, it will emit that energy and that frequency out there.
Right, absolutely.
And when you're authentic and share stories that resonate, and I share stories, even my warts, and people are shocked that I'm so brutally honest. And I'm like, how could I ever share or teach my clients if I don't tell the truth? So truth, authenticity, and proof always wins.
Right. You use a couple big $25 words, and I always like to clarify those with my guests. One of them is my favorite challenge, called authentic. Sometimes you can't show up to be the real deal, Joyce. Sometimes you have to send your representative, okay? Your alter ego.
Well,
that little person inside of you.
Right. Well, we wear many masks. And through my journey, I've realized what mask, and I used to compartmentalize my life. This is my business life. This is my biker life. I'm a Harley Davidson rider. I've been riding 30 years. I've written 2 books, and I have no tattoos. I have a job. I'm an executive, but people pigeonhole me And I tended not to share that aspect of myself with people
Really?
because they judged me. So what I would do is I had a picture of me on my Harley flying 80 miles an hour. A videographer took it hanging out of a van, and it's an awesome picture. And I put it on the back of my card, and one of my bosses that I represented said, "Is that necessary?"
Mm,
I said, "Yes." I go, "Because there's 1,000 of us, and how would I ever stand out?" When they flip over my card and I would go in everybody's office, my card, me on my Harley, was on their tack board
wow.
in front of them every day. So that worked. And who would have thought? I just thought I'm going to put it out there because
Absolutely.
I'm just another manufacturer rep. But
Absolutely.
they're like,
But you know
"That's the
what? I
biker
think
chick."
that you are one hell of a sex kitten. Yes, I do. Meow. Okay. She rides a Harley Brains. Okay. I'm scared of that. I was going to try to ride a motorcycle, and my husband said, you might want to start with a Vespa.
Well, guess what?
And the motorcycle, like I said, I think, and then you say, and I have no tattoos. What
No
does that
tattoo.
mean? Now, let me ask, is that supposed to be a stereotype? That because you ride a bike, you should have a tattoo?
Everybody asks me, and I'm like, no, I do not. And all the girls in my family, my sisters, both my nieces, they all have tattoos, and not one of them ride. But the
Mm,
biker girl in the family, no tattoos.
mm.
So I just don't want to look at my flesh when I'm 80 years old and say, "What was I thinking?"
I know. But
So
you know what? What do you think when you guys go on those conventions and stuff? What type of energy is it about being rebellious and being a woman on the back of a bike, and it's sexy and it's just it's commanding, and it's not easy to ride a motorcycle. All the bugs slap you in the face. Oh
this
wait, and
is
don't
true.
be with those ape hangers. Oh my God, that's just doing too much. But tell me a little bit about your bike, and how did you learn to ride it?
Well, I bought my bike in 1992, but I did not know how to ride. However, my dad had a Harley and put me on the tank when I was 3 years old. And I think
Hmm.
it was from that point on that I would hear those pipes and I would whip my head around like I just saw myself, but no one around me. There was no females that were riding. So I dated somebody and we broke up, but we were still friends. And he was going to the Harley dealer. And I was getting ready to go to massage therapy school. I saved that pot of money and I thought, okay, I want to do something different. And I walked in, and that day I took that money and I dropped 5 grand and I paid cash for my first Harley Davidson, which was a 883 Sportster.
Wow.
And I had to have somebody, a man, a guy, a bartender, a friend of a friend picked it up for me, took me to a parking lot and taught me how to ride, and I never stopped. I've done well over 500,000 miles by myself
Wow.
cross country for over 30 years. Why do I love it?
Yes.
I
Well.
feel so free.
Wow.
My soul is just expansive. And I think that's when
Um,
I commune with God, Mother Nature. I love being on the back roads doing 40, 50 miles an hour and witnessing.
really?
The United
Wow.
States alone has so much open land and you don't see it because you're on a highway with industrial or what have you. But when you go in the middle of every town, there is so much beauty and animals and greenery. Like there's so much abundance of land. And I get my all my creative ideas come when I have a problem, when I'm sad, when I'm depressed, I hop on my bike and it just falls
Wow.
away. So just wish that everyone listening, you find what your bliss is to make sure that you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So fast forward. Where are you today? What is your deliverable? How you are pouring into society and other women?
Well, due to COVID, I had a very affluent business in furniture, and I sold office furniture for the state of
Mm,
Florida. And I would drive 35,000 miles a year begging for business. So
wow.
when COVID came around, I have been doing energy healing, quantum physics, biofeedback on myself for 20 years because I was the most stressed person I knew. I was introduced to somebody, did 4 sessions, and I fell in love with the process. 20 years ago, I fired my doctor. I don't believe in taking drugs. I believe in this computer system we have right here is the most amazing computer of all. That our body will heal itself from within if we learn how to listen and we shift our
I don't know
lifestyle.
now. Come on, let's keep it 100. Somebody's
It is
ticker is going to
100.
get, somebody's ticker is going to get topped. It is just, we're organic. And that's what I say.
Yeah.
We expire, we evolve, we wither, we resprout, because that's what, you know.
My philosophy is I don't believe that. I'm going to be 66 years old in 3 months. I look better
Uh-uh.
today now than I did 40 years ago.
Wow.
Why?
Why?
Because I've learned through my own little death rebirth experience. I lost my baby brother to cancer 20 years ago, and they told him he had 7 months to live. He died 7 months to his diagnosis. Why? That's all he ran in his head over and over again.
Right.
And what I believe, you achieve. So what you think about, you bring about. So that's when I say about firing my doctor. I don't want to take a pill. They have uses. I need surgery. I'm going to go to a hospital and get surgery. But what I'm talking about is something as basic and easy as listening to your body. What does it tell you? My sinuses, my eyes, my throat closes up. It's your body communicating to you. We're just not taught how to listen. We don't know what that means. We'll say, oh, it's pollen. Oh, it's this. We make up all these excuses until we really dissect. So through this whole process, and I've been working on myself for 20 years, that I've got a unique skill set that I can transfer every tip and tool and technique and over $250,000 that I have spent on my mind, body, and spirit in the last 20 years.
Yikes.
That
That's wow,
transferable.
that's a nice chunk of change, honey. That's some boob
Well,
jobs, a tummy tuck, some Botox.
oh, I don't do any of that. I tuck it by doing Pilates 5 days a week.
Really? Well, I guess so. On the back of that motorcycle, is it a lot of exercise? You have to upper course as well to be on a bike, especially for as long as you travel, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've been told that they don't know where my stamina comes in. I think it's my gene, really. My gene pool. My mom is 80, gonna be 89 years young. She's still West Coast swings and East Coast swings. I believe my ancestral chain has high energy. It's just
Mm,
like one of our innate abilities.
yeah.
But what I've learned how to do is channel that from a negative to a positive. So,
Okay.
because we can run
So
high or
okay, so
low.
you're able to turn it on and off,
Correct.
but are people being receptive to that? Give me a success story. Tell me somebody's light you turned on.
Well, I have about 400 because I did 400 sessions last year.
Wow.
And what they did learn is number one, I just shared my story and they wanted to know more. So I think I booked my calendar 4 months out the first
Mm,
time I went on YouTube. And what they were curious is about is I believe stress is the silent killer. I think stress, we don't talk about it, we don't share it, we shelve it down, we suppress it, we say, oh, I'll deal with that later, and it doesn't happen. So what my system does, it scans a body and I put their birth name, date of birth, city and state, country, and their picture into my system, and it scans using quantum physics. Did you know that physics, quantum entanglement, won the Nobel Prize in 2022? So congratulations, Mr. Aspect, Klauser, and Zellinger, because this is the wave of the future, that vibration, high energy, low energy, we're magnets. So we are receptors. So if you're walking around happy, I think happy things happen, but when you're walking around with the dust cloud in, that was me. I had
mm,
self-negative thought after 9/11 because I lost everything. That killed my industry, killed a lot of people's bank account back then. Everything just stopped at a standstill. I have had to reinvent my life at least 4 times in the last 25 years.
wow.
And it's
So does
just
that
about
leave
having,
time for love and romance?
well, no, for me,
No?
it wasn't in the cards. Like I've been married twice, didn't last long, 2.5 years each. and I just married the wrong one.
You don't
However, I
have to marry
totally
him. You're a woman of a particular age. You can have a suitor. You don't need to marry somebody, girl, please.
well, I did back then. It was 18. I was a baby when I got married the first time, so that doesn't really count. However, I put myself out there, but I go with the punches. Like I have a purpose in this life that I need to touch the world on what I do. And I really want to inspire moms and dads to buy a system and they take care of their own family's health and well-being and leaving a legacy of
Wow.
holistic living and eating well. What goes in goes out. We are what we put in
Absolutely.
our mouth.
Well, you have a beautiful crystal on your
Thank
chest
you.
there. Share the
I got
story
it
of
in
that with us.
Italy.
Oh my goodness. I love
I
Italy.
walked into Siena, Italy, and it was this beautiful store, and everything was organic. So it was crystals or marble. And this was the only piece there, and these are like salt pearls. And
Mm,
it just caught my name, and I walked right up and I put it around my neck and I bought it.
wow.
And I said, I would buy like 50 of those if you had those. And it was the
Oh,
only one. And I have people stop me everywhere.
it's
And they said it's
beautiful.
very powerful. And I don't know enough
It
about
is.
crystals, but
And it's at your
I'm
heart
drawn
chakra.
to it.
Okay,
Yes.
so you talk about quantum physics. Explain that to people.
Okay. So what I found out 20 years ago when I hit the most stressed part of my life is I did 4 sessions with a stress management coach. And on the fourth session, it blew me away because she told me, like everything has a frequency, right? Do you believe we're 100% energy, April?
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct. So everything has a hertz, it's a mathematical equation. So every part of our being, mind, body, and spirit has a frequency. So I have over 11,000 frequency signatures
Wow.
in the system. And when I put their name in and all that information in their picture, it scans the body and it tells me what their stress is doing and where is
Mm,
it affecting, what acute stressors and what may be chronic. But it's to the point, it's such a big program that it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So I have to go deeper and deeper, but I can balance out the brain, your emotions, your neurotransmitter, your hormones. I know your food sensitivities, your nutritional deficiencies. It
mm.
just gives me something to look at to share with my client. And then I ask them to validate it. 100%
A hundred
validate what I,
percent, Joyce.
100% validate the information I give them.
Wow.
And I've never seen anything like it. And like I said,
Wow.
I saved my own life being the most stressed person that I knew 20 years ago.
Okay, so now how do you keep yourself clean? How do you keep yourself balanced? And who pours into you? Because again, you have to refresh, renew.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do, like I said, I work out 5 days a week. I go to Pilates. I literally do Pilates on a reformer. It's a class. And I shut my eyes. There's 3 things I get out of that. It forces me to breathe properly. We're all shallow breathers. And I think dementia, Alzheimer's comes from not enough oxygenation in the brain. So it forces you to go in from the diaphragm and breathe. Secondly, I'm using tension. So I'm doing resistance, but I'm not pounding weights. I used to be a bodybuilder. I used to follow Miss O back in the day, but
What?
I don't want to be a chin wrap. Yeah, I never competed, but I appreciated what they did with their body. I was mesmerized how you can get those big muscles. Well, they did a couple drugs, but anyways, I was fascinated on the physique and what you could do with it,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to spend 3 hours in a gym. So, and then I eat really clean. I drink alkaline water. I have several machines. I eat organic foods. I go out. I cheat just like everybody else. I just realize the things that I can have and I can't have through my food sensitivities. And I just pivot. When I cheat, I have fun. And then I go back to my system. I go back to
Let me ask you a
not
question.
cheating.
You do all these wonderful things. Do you think that how do you think you would feel if you lived to be maybe 130 years old?
I'm going to live till 250 is my goal.
Now, the reason is really, you might be the only
Yeah.
person here.
No,
And
I won't. because I
No.
think things are changing. No, if it was biblical, why could they live so long? I mean, I really think outside the box.
Okay.
If I believe in the Bible and is it true? I don't know. I'm not a theologian and I didn't study that. However, how did they live 2, 3, 4, 500 years as it says there? I think it's because they lived off the land.
Okay.
Everything was fresh. It wasn't contaminated, etc.
Oh.
So I literally feel that my vessel is the cleanest I possibly can just because I work at it daily. And I know my grandmother died at 97. My grandfather died at 95. And my grandmother died because she was too impatient to wait for the nurse, pushed out of her wheelchair, hit her head, was in a coma, and she never woke up. Or else I think she would have lived past 100. And she had cancer, breast cancer, one removed when she was 60 years old. So I think we can live a long time if our vessel is clean. I'm just going to live. That's what I'm putting out there to the universe. I'm going to live a very long time.
Brains, it's time for you to receive it. Okay. Yeah. Here on the edge and get the blessing. I'm telling you, it's a download. That's what we call a download. Okay.
Yeah.
An energy center, into your neuro-linguistic programming, into your brain. The place where you make decisions, you recall information, you get involved. Again, we are dealing in a different dimension. We are in the fifth dimension.
4D on up to 5D.
Exactly. They were putting some 5D out in my yard here. I was a nervous wreck. But then you know what? I said it challenged me to up my frequency. So I got my tuning bowls, checked in with wonderful people like you that are smart, that are above, average. Brains, we don't have the average here. We don't have the ordinary. We have the extraordinary here on the edge. Brains, please, Joyce, tell us how to get in contact with you, get a copy of the books. Do you have the books there with you, baby?
No, because I'm in Vegas, so they wouldn't fit. So
what are you doing in Vegas?
Business.
You partying, girl?
No, I don't party. I've been in bed every night at 10 o'clock because the 3-hour time zone is real. Like I can't hang. It's 3 hours difference for me here. But all my books are on my website, so you can go to joycepellegrini.com. It's JoycePellegrini.com. Everything is there. What I do, about me, my books, each one of them are free. All you got to do is go in and give me your name and your email, and it'll download right to you and send you the PDF. And there's 3 books: Energy Mindset, Transform Your Life, Why Can't I Lose Weight, Joyce? And I even have my motorcycle diaries A to Z there that you can download.
Are those PG? Because I'm sure that you done rolled up on.
No, they are all PG. They're all PG.
Well, thank you so much again for being here on the Edge. Brains, I need you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe. Love, like, share, and subscribe here on the Edge. Okay? Tell a friend. Go for a motorcycle, maybe a bike ride. How about that? Bye, Joyce.
You got it.